Well, hello everybody. How are we? All good? Yeah? Good to meet you today. Busy room, so thanks very much for joining us. Really appreciate it. We want to make this as engaging as possible, so we're not going to give you death by PowerPoint. We're going to go through some slides, some visualization. The format is going to be my wonderful colleague here, Eugene, is going to come up and go through the second part of the presentation. So hopefully you don't get any glitches. But listen, we want as many questions as possible, and we have our Chief Product Officer over here as well, so he can answer questions too. But yeah, let's kick off. So what's on the agenda today? Well, we're going to go through obviously growth engine for App Store in 2023. Why? Well, we believe in these turbulent times, okay? It's very, very important to have, you know, a well thought out, holistic approach to this through obviously ecosystem. Here I am. Don't hold it against me that I love 80s music and I love Backstreet Boys, but I'm VP of Sales here, David Martin, SplitMetrics, and I have Eugene here, my colleague too. You know, yeah, just very, very excited to be here. And before I go to the next slide, okay, I want to get you involved. Who knows what SplitMetrics does? Yes. Yes.
App Store,
Brilliant. Yeah, excellent. Eugene, he needs some swag, okay? Who's swag, okay? Who else wants some swag? Anybody else know? Perfect. Because I don't. Joking. Here we go. So what do we do? Okay, we help top mobile first companies and simplify their brands to make success. You're right. A/B testing is one. We also work on obviously Apple Search Ads as well. And what do? We help organized agents scale, obviously through our ecosystem of services and products. We also have 150 technical experts too to help obviously with fully managed Apple Search Ads and other campaign strategies as well. But where do we start? And as you mentioned, okay, ASO is the starting point of every winning user acquisition strategy, okay? Why is that? Because A/B testing, okay, provides us with the data, okay, that we need to allow us to make informed decisions around our strategies. But also ASO is 90% testing and optimization, and this is actually done before the app is even released. So you're able to see the concepts, how they work and what way they work. And what we're going to do today is we're going to show you a few use cases of this. So as we not imagine, first impressions are everything. They're vitally important in terms of uplift, key metrics, icons, screenshots, and so on, okay? And as you can see here, okay, from the screen, you know, 7 seconds average is obviously for hold on the page, 10 seconds on the product page, you know, and as you can see here, 34% uplift in icon optimization once you have the right, obviously, A/B testing strategy. Use case, okay? I'm going to give you some hacks as well too here, so you're going to get a lot of obviously insights too. So as you see, Hobnob here, okay? What they had from their perspective was they saw the value in plain icons. So not overcomplicating the icon, not overcomplicating, you know, what the visualization was. And as you can see, not having much stuff in the background too. So, you know, clear, plain, you know, the optimization for that, they've seen an increase in about 64% from their original icon developments. So that's when they went through that app rebranding, and they've seen some obviously downturn in it, and then when they've done the A/B testing, they were able to increase that result also. Airtamax, you know, known for their trivia games. Their smart move from the use case was to do the testing and concept before releasing the game, okay? And what they done with that was, okay, as well, is they worked with our obviously experts from obviously pre-launch right through, and then they were able to see obviously a 30% improvement from casual variant to competitive. So it was a really, really good use case for them, and especially where they were in their obviously pre-launch stage. And again, as you can see here, there's some hacks here for you. So I'll share this presentation with everybody after the meeting too. So more hacks. So as you can see here, first impressions. You know, always include the apps. I'm not going to call out this, but personalize your screenshots if possible. And remember color associations. So in regards to seasonality, you know, looking at obviously the colors for your Valentine's Day compared to your Christmas, you know, so looking at them is vitally important too. And again, as we say, can't stress enough, is to keep it plain and clear in the background. Fact number 2, maximizing opportunities. So, you know, what we're doing here, okay, and what we have done is pay more attention to localization, okay. In gaming alone, okay, we've seen Taiwan surpass Germany into 5th place because of this. And also as well, seasonality too. Seasonality is very, very important too at the moment when you're going through and thinking about your strategies. And the reason being is because we're not just talking about now Halloween, we're not talking about Christmas, or we're not talking about Valentine's Day either. Fact number 3. So as you can see here, you know, what we want to show today is, and what we want to kind of give some insights is, how ASO and ASA complement each other and how they connect with each other too, okay? And as you can see, okay, there is obviously some, you know, interesting facts about the connection. You know, ASO improves your conversion rate. You know, bidding might not be possible, organic results, and you can mine Apple search ads for data as well. So there's a lot that makes the connection, and there's a lot that we say when you're doing your obviously strategies, ASO and ASA, you know, they have to obviously be connected with each other, and you can see the boost in results from using the two of them together. You know, and what we're going to show is in the next kind of slide is a use case with one of our customers, and to show the connection on this too. So as you see here, Leventis, you know, the use case. So our expert worked with them, a large publisher and video obviously utility, and what we done was we were able to help them boost ASO in the pre-launch stage with ASA pre-order campaigns. You know, we launched the ASA pre-order campaign and helped accumulate users before the app was launched, which resulted in install boost on the app's release day. So again, as you can see, you know, this is something that when you do have the two strategies working hand in hand, what you can achieve before actually the campaigns, and what you can achieve before obviously the launch of your concepts or your products. So again, here we have obviously ASO and ASA success, you know, so having the two of them working together, you know, Apple Search Ads is crucial, you know, for evaluating downstream post installs. We've talked about that. And also as well, you know, there's more data in Apple Search Ads for ASA using key mining, looking for data on conversion and keywords, TTR, you know, CR, conversion rates. And look, from the obviously perspective of the two of them going hand in hand, you know, you can see the magic that comes from both of them also. I'm going to stop there because I've gone through that obviously visualization a little bit quickly before I pass over to obviously my colleague Eugene that's going to go through the Apple Search Ads. But yeah, just want to kind of stop there for any questions that anybody might have. Again, remember our Chief Product Officer is over here, so I'll direct them over to him. But anybody, any questions? Yes?
Quick one about, you mentioned about how changing the logo, You mentioned about how optimizing or changing the logo could have a really good sort of result and conversion rate. If, say, you know, you're McDonald's and you've got like a really iconic logo, is there still sort of scope in those sorts of apps to change, or sort of for the bigger apps, would you recommend that they sort of stay as is?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I think because the brand is so big, you know, and Mike will come jump in here as well, but I think for the likes of logos like McDonald's, Burger King, Adidas, Nike, you know, they're so iconic, you know, and changing them would obviously disrupt obviously their brand. And to be honest, as we said earlier on, you know, you look at Hobnob example, okay? They kept it simple and plain. McDonald's have done that, you know, all the big chains have done that, like Nike, like Adidas, and that's the reason why they're so successful, because they kept it that way. And I think as well, the Hobnob case is a prime example that you don't have to change your logo, you don't have to change your background to be successful. You just need to keep it simple and keep it obviously, you know, streamlined, basically. Yeah, but good question, yeah. Mike, anything else?
I kind of have two questions, but
yeah.
One just to build on that. So if you're kind of, I guess there's a trend right now to kind of use the full logo in the icon, if that makes sense. Be Real, for instance, it's just straight up the logo. It's very literal. It's in your face. Whereas obviously a lot of other apps will just use the icon. Do you see any, you know, one or the other as more compelling? If your logo fits, should you use a full logo, or would you recommend maybe owning the icon in a different way?
I can
Mike, yeah.
So basically, yes, you're absolutely right. So there are different trends in logos, and you can see that in one category, one trend is the primary trend, and it's quite opposite from another category. And it looks like, well, there is no single pattern, and it is. There is no single pattern, and that's why we actually recommend to test it. Because even with the McDonald's logo, you can put it on a background, you can put it in a context, you can put the name McDonald's on underneath the main logo or something like that. And each option can win or lose in specific context, and actually it can win or lose in specific context of your current campaign, your current experience you're building around this, right? So our recommendations would be, don't take everything for granted, like your competitor is doing that, so I do that. No, your logo has different palettes, different wording, different feeling. So probably it's better to test it. It's not that expensive. It's not that long process. Test it, and you will see the result within weeks.
Yeah.
And then, if okay, you talked about seasonality in these App Store screenshots. Or on the App Store generally. And you spoke about color association. Were you just saying that there are associations with colors and to be mindful of that? Or were you saying that incorporating some of these more seasonal, specifically colors, I guess, in design has seen a positive impact in conversion? Does that make sense?
Well, again, the
Okay.
answer will be almost exactly the same, right?
Okay.
So it depends on the category, and sometimes you have to be in the context of the current trend and the current season. And for example, if you're about shopping experience, you have to be within the season because you fashion shop, for example. The same thing if you are related to the financial stuff or something like that. You have to be in the context of that. And the color palette should probably just follow the events. It's not, there is no specific button like everyone should go green this April and it will work best for everyone. It depends. That's why the main message is test it. And actually don't stop testing. That's actually the major message, even more important. Don't stop testing, because if in this April the green works better for you and the plain logo green and some flowers, it doesn't mean that in June it will stay the same. And probably it's not just about the society and their feelings, it's about your competitive landscape as well. If they follow you, you start losing, so you need to invent something new.
Yeah, always iterate. Yeah, great questions.
So in terms of testing assets like an icon, what are your best practices in terms of like for how long you run the test, how many variants you use, what is the statistical significance you aim for?
Actually it doesn't require a lot of traffic, and our platform recommends you how much traffic you need to spend so you see the statistical significant numbers already. Of course, it depends on the specific asset. So for example, if it's an asset on the very first screen of your product page, like logo, like a first screenshot, like in the name of the application, of course it requires much less traffic, about a few hundred visitors will already give you some idea of what works better or what's not. If you want to test multiple screenshots, if you want to test a video, it will require more traffic and it will require a longer period of time to cover all of the variants. And there is another thing, how many variants you test. If you just run a simple A/B test, it will take much less traffic and less time, rather than you've got 25 different options and you want to find the ultimate one, right? So, but actually it's answering directly to your question, it's about hundreds of people for the start, hundreds of visitors of your product page for the start, and then you can evolve into something deeper in analysis if you want more.
What's the maximum amount of variants you would test at the same time?
Well, it depends on how much traffic you want to afford and invest into for this specific time. You can test 25 different things, but it will be quite an expensive test because you will have to divert quite a lot of users into your testing thing. So we would say that probably something between 3 and 10 would be the best option. It depends on what exactly you want to test, and we recommend iterative testing rather than comparing absolutely different things. So you test logo versus logo, one screenshot versus another screenshot, not just absolutely different versions of product page. Well, when you will have actually no idea why this variant D works better than others. It's different. Why? Right? So just do that in several iterations, and you will eventually actually not just end up with the winning combination, but you will develop your knowledge base, what works better, and what kind of trend you want to follow.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Eugene?
No.
Okay, over to you, my good friend. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Right, guys. Hi, I'm Eugene. Thank you, David, for the introduction. I'm not as funny as he, so...
Funny looking, you mean?
Right, so let's talk about the second aspect of ASO and ASA and how they work together. Why Apple Search Ads is a must for your app growth? Well, first of all, Apple Search Ads is a very powerful advertising platform for app developers to drive installs from the App Store, right? So the App Store claims that the difference between App Store and Google Play is pretty significant. And if you look at this graph from Sensor Tower, they predict even the bigger difference. So by 2026, the App Store is projected to reach 161 billion in the consumer Spain, whereas Google Play only 72 billion. So the App Store is full of motivated users, and they come there to spend the real money on your apps. And based on the data from the Apple, the conversion rate from the Apple Search Ads is around 60%. But we have our own clients, and we have our own data. So we publish this report on a regular basis. It's called Apple Search Ads Benchmark Report. And we can actually see that in some categories, for example, in entertainment, we see the 79.7 conversion rate and 69.6 for travel. And also other categories like graphic and design, games, business, food and drink, shopping, lifestyle, also higher than 60%. So you can download this benchmark report from our website free of charge, or you can just scan the QR code and get it. Okay, so what are the tips, best practices for scaling Apple Search Ads? So number one is expand your geography and extend your localization. So if you target many markets, tie them up and assign different ROAS goals to each group. Keep researching and improving your ASO. That's what David was talking about. Make sure you stay on your keyword relevancy. And deploy optimization third-party platform. This will help you a lot with the scaling this channel. There are many aspects of it. First and probably the most is the ability to see the full funnel of your data from Apple Search Ads and from your MMP. So in the native dashboard, you can only see Apple Search Ads data, so you don't see any in-app events data. So third-party platforms like SplitMetrics will help you to see the data on every level, campaign level, ad level, keyword level. Run account health check from time to time, and make sure you use another new feature, which is customer product pages. We're going to talk about it a little bit later. So, use cases. Freeletics. Freeletics is a well-known fitness app, and they were looking to scale in the most competitive season. Now I have a question. What is the most competitive season for the fitness app? Which holidays? January. Well done. Why January?
New Year resolution.
New Year resolution. Here we go.
Too much talking.
So they had an incredible challenge to scale in January. A lot of competition, a lot of money to spend. So, and they also present in the 60 different countries. So, what they've done is they used the first tip from the previous slide. So they tied up the target markets and assigned different ROAS goal to different tiers. And the second, they focused on their best performing keywords instead of just going all of them. And third, they deploy the optimization platform. And the last one, they aligned it with the brand awareness TV campaign, which was really good. So, and results you can see on the screen. They've been able to increase amount of spend in 2.8, 2 times increase in installs, and 2.4 increase in purchases. Another example, Babel, is a leading language learning subscription app with more than 10 million subscriptions sold. So they had exactly the same challenge that I was just mentioned. They could see the top of the funnel in terms of the data, but they didn't see the data that's coming from the app. So it was really difficult for them to optimize. And because they had a very complex structure and a lot of different campaigns, deploying this kind of platform helped them a lot to understand the data on the keyword level, that the money they spent on Apple Search Ads and the money they get actually from the app, and tracking that number from their MMP. Another 2 examples, I'm going to be really quick because Skidders, yeah, they're quite similar. Skidders also had a very, it's a kind of a learning game app for kids. They had a very unique structure, a campaign structure. They had 10 different apps. They were running like around 200 different campaigns in the different countries, and you know, it was really difficult for them to optimize those campaigns and create the rules for the bidding, because if you have that many campaigns, it takes a lot of time to optimize them and to change the bid manually. So they deploy a third-party optimization tool, created more than 200 automated rules, and as a result, there was they scale almost 2 times. I can even give you the number. They scaled from 31K spent a month to the 73K a month. The other Livintis, David already mentioned them. They came to our agency, and they really wanted to scale this channel. And after analyzing all of their campaigns, our experts decided to focus on this specific market. So we realized that the most revenue comes from the United States, and we focused all of our efforts on the storefront, and it paid off. So Levinti scaled by 4 times. Okay, CPP, custom product pages. It's a really hot topic these days. Okay, so Apple introduced CPP in December 2021, so it's relatively new new ad placement. So it enables mobile developers and marketeers to create highly personalized experience for potential and returning users. So you can create up to 35 variations on the CPP, and essentially you can display a different functionality of your app, specific features of the app, any updates or promotion offers. So CPP is an excellent opportunity to promote brand campaigns, highlight other features, services, messages in the generic campaign. They help engage your audience with more relevant content. Let me tell you, so this is the example of how we can use CPP to test your value proposition. So you may find a specific feature, and CPP brings you more conversions for better price by testing different value propositions. So for example, you can test your feature for your travel app, let's say hotels, cheap hotels versus cheap flights. So on this slide, you can see some other examples of various app categories. So each message serves different needs or different target audience segment. So with CPP, you can segment your audience and run campaigns for each segment. So examples of segmentation is like demographic, psychographic, geographic, but also you can do behavioral, need-based segmentation, value-based. So this is example for the finance. Circling back to the seasonality that David already mentioned, but CPP is the great tool for the seasonality, right? You can create a lot of different custom product pages for the different seasons. So you can make summer campaign, high season promos. You can change images for the specific holidays, like I don't know, Friendship Day, New Year's Day, Super Bowl, etc. You can play also with promo offers like Black Friday or Cyber Monday. And also, it's a good way to support your global marketing strategy. So, for example, if you run TV campaigns or influencers campaigns, so anything connected with your brand awareness. And of course, support new feature releases. Today tab. This is the question I have for the audience. How many of you tried to use Today tab? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 people. Okay. Okay. It's a pretty new ad placement from the Apple. But the idea is that your app can appear right on the front page of the App Store, making it one of the first thing that user can see when they open the App Store. So Today tab created from the customer product pages, and it's set up in the App Store Connect, which means you can, your creative will be based on a specific customer product pages. So yeah, when developing a custom product page for the Today tab, you need to focus on an ad creative. It should be catchy, easy to understand, inspiring, and conveying a clear message. And do you know what is the difference between Today tab and the CPP? So when you run when you run the campaign on CPP, you bid on a keyword. The Today tab doesn't connect to any keywords. So it's purely about creatives. Okay, now, if you're interested in taking advantage of CPP, but you don't have resources or you don't have expertise, we, as an official Apple partner, not just in ASA, but also in CPP development and design, we can help you out. We already have quite a few cases. So this is Tanestro. It's a music lesson application. So they came to us with a challenge. They wanted to increase conversion rates, increase engagement, and essentially scale the channel. So as I said, it's an app to learn how to play violin. But when we looked at the application, our experts found out that actually there is another feature within the app, which is violin tuner. So we created a different set of CPP for this one, and the result was amazing. The tap-through rate increased almost 2 times, and install grew 2.5 times. Another example, Pixar, is the kind of a photo and video editing app with more than 150 million monthly active users. So again, they really wanted to scale CPP, and our experts managed to create a lot of very well performed CPP, and here you can see that results were incredible. So, some of the tips to rely on when elaborating on your CPP. The first one, when developing hypothesis, focus on 5 W's: who, what, when, where, and why. So this will help you understand who the target user is, what you can offer, when and where in terms of placement and geography you need to turn, and then start with creating 2 or 3 custom product pages. That could be enough at the beginning. Create your custom product pages from the available screenshots. You can just change the sequences and test it. Expand your semantic core and test CPP for search queries that are similar for different subcategories. There might be a possible impact on organic rank from paid ads. So by bringing more relevant traffic, you can increase the conversion rate and organic rank. And finally, look at custom product pages through the prism of creatives. Think how to draw the attention of users. Make creatives self-explanatory, eye-catching, and extraordinary. Do you want to ramp up?
Thank you very much, Eugene. Excellent. You are funny.
Thank you, guys.
So, yeah, listen, thank you very much, everybody. Really appreciate your time here today and your questions also. So, look, just to ramp up as you talked about there, okay, we mentioned about an ecosystem of enterprise, holistic approach. We've gone through some of the, SplitMetrics, optimize, acquire, and agency. We didn't mention any of the names. We didn't want to mention the products. We want to give you insights into what we can do, okay? You know, and we hope that you can see this as the mobile growth engine going forward and the new way of, you know, approaching your A/B testing, testing your screenshots, testing obviously your concepts, but also then being able to optimize and scale them, you know, too. And as well, you know, what we want to obviously make sure we all know as well here that, you know, if you haven't got the resources, you know, don't be afraid. We have expertise there if needed, okay? So, as I said, thank you very, very much, okay, for your time and your attention. And look, listen, if you want to find out more, please drop upstairs. We're upstairs at the in the entrance there. Come down and speak to the team, and we can go through some more details as well. But yeah, I'm going to leave it at that for now, and any questions that you may have. So we've got roughly 5 minutes left, so I'm going to pass the floor to you wonderful people.
Thank you. On the Today tab piece, I think I was wondering if you have any sort of, is that good for anything other than brand awareness is basically what I'm trying to ask. Like, can you get cheap results through a Today tab?
It's a really good question.
Yeah, very
really
good question.
So,
We just talked about this earlier. We just talked about this earlier.
okay.
Listen to our conversation. You've always listened, yeah.
Well, actually, you're absolutely right. Today tab, it looks a little bit to the upper side of the funnel, right? So it's more on a branding side rather than on a direct performance. But our early research shows that there is a correlation between performance and between this specific placement and performance. So it doesn't mean that the two-day tab on its own, if you just run campaign on a two-day tab, will perform with the same level of ROI as a search results. Of course not, because you are on a longer distance to the user intent at the two-day tab. But it's our early research shows that it has an impact. So if you combine two-day tab with the search results ads, you will eventually bump up the search results conversion, and you can eventually build the funnel a little bit better and engage with the user on multiple touches. So when the user ends up on your product page, on the CPP actually, you are much deeper engaged with this user. So we do recommend do research, and but of course you need to manage your expectations. Yeah. It's the conversion ratio and the ROI, the direct ROI, if you just take Today tab campaign on its own, will be obviously lower because of the obvious reasons of the distance between you and the user. But it doesn't mean that it's Today tab is only for branding purposes only. This will make an impact on the rest of your campaigns.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Hi, I had a question about product page optimization versus CPP. As far as I understand, the former is just the organic version of CPP, but are you seeing any differences in performance or approach to, how to approach the two separately? Or should we think about CPP and product page optimization in a similar fashion to each other?
It's a very good question. Yes, CPP and product page are like brother and sister, right? The only thing is that the channel is different, and the audience is a little bit different, and the way how you measure it and how you clusterize your audience is different. So when you're talking about CPPs and the use of CPPs in your Apple search ads, you think of specific keywords, specific targeting you use, and specific bids you use in your ad groups, or this ad group or another ad group, right? And this is the main difference. Here, you've got a combination of set of keywords, biddings, targetings, and your CPP, and you can create something new out of that. When you're talking about, when you're thinking about product pages themselves, well, you work with other channels. You either work with the organic channel or you work with third-party channels like Facebook, ad networks, etc. And over there, you probably want to test them in the context of those channels. So this is the main difference, and that's why we always recommend do both, because the best CPP for your in-app campaign in some games, video campaign, would definitely be different from specific CPP you should use in branding campaign in Apple search ads, or in performance campaign in your Apple search ads. So do both.
Thank you, very useful.
Just want to say thank you very much for your attention, for joining. By the way, who knows where the party is tonight? The secret location. Come on, someone else know. Actually, no, listen, thanks very much. We're upstairs. I'm looking forward to talking to you soon, okay? Take care. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.